Hey everyone, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, my video is for Fandom Friday. We do this every third Friday of the month. It's a no-stress hop, and it is where you can let your nerd flag fly free. Try saying that 3 times fast. I don't even think I could say it twice. Anyway, for Fandom Friday for November 2025, we are doing a fandom that has a great score or soundtrack, great music. I am a huge fan of purchasing scores and soundtracks to movies, even if I don't necessarily love the movie. A lot of times the score will really get me. I have lots of scores, so that's the background music, like the orchestras and things where there's no singing involved. It's just the music that makes you feel the feelings while the movie's going on. So I have many scores, I have many soundtracks, but one of my favorite scores, soundtracks, and movies of all time is The Crow. The Crow from 1995, let's be specific, okay? With the late, great Brandon Lee. So that's what this project is going to be about. So I have the mid-century tower stencil and some sheet music. This is actually Dance Macabre. Appropriate, I think, for this. Also a great song. And we're going to take this and put this on top. I'll wind up cutting this down later. But I've got some black gesso because we're going to use the black gesso in all of the empty spaces. It's going to hide a lot of this. And we're going to come up with something kind of cool. I also have the Ravens stencil and mask set from A Colorful Life Designs. And obviously that is going to be very appropriate for my crow themed project here. Yeah, I don't really know where this is going to go, but we're just going to wing it. No pun intended. So I've got some golden acrylic gesso in black. This is a very well-loved gesso tub, mostly by my son. My son loves using black gesso. So we're going to just apply this right on top of the stencil. I have a tub of water in my creative space here that I keep around whenever I'm doing mediums like this with stencils, so that I can just throw the stencil in there because I don't have a sink on this floor. So this is just an easy way for me to keep my things from, having mediums dried on them. I'll throw my brush in there too, so that when I'm done with filming this segment, I can just bring the stencil down or just wash it off completely in the tub. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to go a little lower than I think that I should, just to make sure I have enough here. And this is going to be nice and opaque black, which is exactly what I wanted. You could have used stencil paste if you want to. You could use Versamark ink and then use black embossing powder on top. You could probably use distress paint. Lots of different things that you can work with, but I wanted to be able to potentially work on top of this, so that's why I chose the gesso. All right, we're going to peel this off. Check that out. I love that. Threw my brush and my stencil into my tub of water. I can move the gesso out of the way. And one of the nice things about gesso is that it dries really quickly. You could see that over here is already pretty dry. So this is not going to take long to move on to the next step. But I will clean this up. So while this is still drying, it is technically almost dry at this point, I am going to take my crow stencil. I'm going to flip it over this way because I want the crow facing the other direction once I do what I'm about to do here. So I'm going to trace this with my pencil so that I can do a little fussy cutting. I could have traced around the mask, but I thought it would be a little easier to just use the stencil because I have more surface area to hold on to with my fingers than I would the mask. So just gonna quickly go in here, and this is the back side, so I don't need to worry about getting pencil all over the place. There we go. Perfect. And now we're gonna just cut this guy out. So like I said, The Crow is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's got my all-time favorite score, or one of them. I don't know. Chronicles of Narnia is another amazing one. But soundtrack. The soundtrack is incredible too. It has a lot of favorites with this movie. It has my favorite Nine Inch Nails song. It has my favorite song by The Cure. It's just, so good. It's just such a great movie. Anytime anybody's like, oh, The Crow, it's like, yes, we will watch The Crow. We can listen to The Crow. Whatever. I have a pretty big collection of Crow memorabilia. Statues and lots of toys, and I have Eric Draven's casket that opens up. It's like a jewelry box. I'm looking at them right now because they're all next to me. I have a goblet. I have, the special edition movies. I have a really great scene of Eric Draven and Top Dollar on top of the roof in the last battle. So much stuff. Because it's, like I said, it's my favorite. So I do collect them. But I do want to mention about this Fandom Friday hop that this is technically an Instagram hop. So you're not going to find, many, if any, other videos. I'm not really sure if anybody's going to be posting videos besides me. So I will be sure to have the link to the start of the hop in my description box below. And make sure that you head on over to Instagram and you can check out what everybody has made for this hop. I've participated a number of times this year. I try to make a video to go with it because it's just fun to do that. But yeah, so scores can really make or break a movie. Sometimes they can really help a movie out that's not so good. I just love to collect them. Are you a fan of soundtracks and scores and things like that? I find that a lot of people look at me quizzically when I say that I have a lot of scores. It's not really their thing. They don't often pay attention to it, but I find it to be a really important part of any movie. Okay, I'm going to just finish cutting this other leg out. It doesn't have to be totally perfect because, again, you're not going to see any of these pencil lines because it's going to be on the back. But I thought it would be good to have it cut out of cardstock so I could move it around as I wish instead of just stenciling it right onto the panel we made. Also, it's a different shade of black, so it'll help stand it out. I'll probably pop it up. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, we're almost done here. Here we go. Move this away. This is almost dry. A couple of spots here, but look at that. We're going to do some more things to this background, though, to make him really pop. I realized that I hadn't told you what I had done to the sheet music to get it to look like this. I like to take either blank sheets of paper, sheet music, textbook paper, whatever, and I like to make them into full-sized backgrounds that can then be cut down. They're called master boards. So you can use any type of application you want, sprays, stamps, stencils, a combination, but the intent is that you will eventually cut this full-size paper or cardstock down to use it across multiple projects. So for the sheet music, I used some Distress Oxide sprays, Lumberjack Plaid, Saltwater Taffy, probably Kitsch Flamingo. I don't know for sure because it was a while ago, but I think that those are the three colors that I used. And I just sprayed it, knowing full well that I was going to add to that background. So that's where that came from. So off camera, I decided I needed a sentiment, and I knew full well that I wasn't going to have a sentiment that was a direct quote from the movie, so I made my own. This is one of my favorite quotes that Eric Draven says in the movie, "Nothing is trivial," and for that I used this very old Stampendous small typewriter alphabet set, no longer available, but you probably have some alpha stamps or dies in your stash that you can use to make your own quotes or sentiments. So that's what I did here. Nothing is trivial. I did it on black cardstock and I used Ivory embossing powder. I didn't want stark white, so the Ivory was perfect. So I want to rough this up. You can see that there's a fatter border at the bottom here. So we're going to distress it. I have this edge distresser from Uniquely Creative. Basically, this whole pink thing is to hold, and there's a little tiny blade in there. And that is so that you don't hurt yourself. And you can use it to distress the edges of your cardstock or paper. So I'm just going to run this across the bottom, and you can see that that's roughing it up quite nicely. I'm not going to do it on all 3 sides, just the bottom. And that's just going to give us some texture. Just like so. This is really quick, and it gives a great effect. There we go. Perfect. Nice. See that? Love it. Okay. Probably going to go there. Like I said before, very hard to see the crow. We're going to add some more stuff to this. So I grabbed some gelatos. Probably not going to use this one. This is iced currant. This is a metallic one. I have Earl Grey, and I have metallic icing. I think that I want to start with the Earl Grey. This one is not metallic. Oh, I got a little green on there. Got to get that off. Don't want any green. This is why I used the gesso, because I knew that I could then go in with other mediums and just kind of have a good time. So I'm going to just go over this a little. I love working with gelatos. They're really a lot of fun. Okay, and now I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to just smudge this. And if you don't like how it looks, that's okay, because we can remove it with a baby wipe. But actually, what I think I want to do is maybe take another stencil and go over it and remove some of this color that way. A little bit more. If you don't want to use your fingers, you don't have to. You can use gloves and do it that way. But I don't mind getting stuff on my fingers. It's fine. I grabbed the grained stencil from Colorful Life Designs, and I have a baby wipe. It's just a clean, damp baby wipe. And we're going to just place it on top and use that baby wipe to kind of pull off some of that color we laid down with the gelato. See that? Look at the depth that it just created. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Isn't that so neat? Such a simple thing. I missed a spot. Just the removal of color. It just makes it look so much more interesting. And now our crow's going to stand out a bit more, but we're still going to do more to this. Just going to clean up this space. Now, gelatos will continue to be water reactive. So it's a good idea when you're done with gelatos to spritz them with something like a workable fixative or a sealant. Microglaze might work, though I haven't tried it yet. But I don't want to do that just yet. I do want to put a little bit more right here. Better. I want to perhaps, you know what? Let's do something with the crow first before we figure out what we're doing. Let's take this again, and we're going to just add some of this around the edge. These are similar to a distress crayon, so if you don't have gelatos, but you have distress crayons, try this technique with those. Okay. I'm going to use this to kind of highlight this fella. See that? Look at how that just brings him to life a bit. You know, he's not He's not so flat anymore. That's cool. I was thinking about perhaps using a metallic ink on him, but I like this better. It's got a more painterly look to it. That's cool. Okay, so now what I want to do, forget the red and the white. We don't need it. We're going to use some Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. I'm going to take this. I'm going to spritz it with some water. And then I'm going to take my brush, put it in here, and we're going to do some splatter. This stuff is great because it really is bleed proof. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to soak up color the way other white inks or paints might. This stuff is just really good. Kind of wish I had a cream version of it, but that's okay. All right, that looks great. And now I'm going to clean this up. I sprayed this with a matte finishing spray from Krylon, just because I don't want my gelato to move at all. So that's done. Make sure you do that in a well-ventilated area. And now I have the Praise Burst stencil from Colorful Life Designs. I'm whipping out a lot of stencils today. I really want this guy to stand out. I forgot to spray him. I'm going to spray him too. But first, we're going to use this to kind of highlight where our crow is going to be. Like that. So I'm going to take my magnets, hold that on there like so. I've got some silver, very old embossing paste that we're going to use. Once again, use what you've got. If you don't have this, because you probably don't have this exact one, get something else. I'm going to put some on the back of my palette knife. You see it's on the back there. And we're going to just apply this right through the stencil. I want to be careful to not go above the stencil line because I do not want the paste to be on the top part of the panel. Just going to smooth this out. I don't mind if I'm doing this a little messy because this whole thing is a little messy. Oh, we got a dry piece there. That's got to come off. I'm going to wind up smoothing it out for the most part anyway, but make sure that you scrape off the excess and get it back into your jar for use at another time. And then this stencil is going to go in the bath with the other one so that the paste does not dry on there. Let's take this off and you can see what it looks like. Oh, that's cool. I took my heat tool to this, which I like to do because it makes it kind of bubble and blow up a bit. And I think that that's such a great look. Now, our burst is not as obvious as I would have liked, but it's okay. I think maybe what I'm going to do is go in with my white. I don't know. And just, probably not even going to see this. I just want it to be a little bit more visible than it is. That's not really working. Actually, that's not too bad. All right, I can deal with this. It's working a bit. Don't be afraid to experiment. I say this all the time. What's the worst thing that can happen? It's just paper. You'll find something else you can do with it. Worst case scenario, you throw it out. But really, everything is fixable. So just play around with it. All right, this is okay. This is okay. He's going to stand out more now. Come over here, little crow. I don't mind him hanging off the edge either because this is now 4 by 5 1/4, so we'll have a base. Okay, I'm good with this. Nothing is trivial. Do I want to add? I do. I do. We're going to add some Delicata in Silvery Shimmer to that edge that we distressed before. I love this silver. A little bit more right there. I think I need to re-ink this baby. Okay, yeah, that's cool. All right. You see that? You see that shimmer? That's nice, right? That's gonna go there. Okay. It's a little crazy and I love it. Feel like we need to do something to the edge, but I'm gonna cut out my card base first and see if we actually need to do anything to it. First and foremost, we are going to make this edge black. I've got VersaFine Clair in Nocturne. This is my favorite black ink, and we are just going to go in heavy with this color all the way around the edge. Make sure you check out the hop on Instagram. If you want to join in, you can certainly do that. There'll be information in my hop post and along the way. Oh yeah, see, we don't need to do anything else to that edge. I think that that's fine. I'm glad I waited. So now we're going to do a little bit of cutting foam tape. I've got black foam tape from scrapbook.com. Love this stuff because it is black. And it cuts really well, and it's nice and thin. This is 1 millimeter. You can also get it in a 2 and 3 millimeter. But this is going to give us just a bit of lift and support. Because sheet music paper is pretty thin. So this is going to really help give it some substance. Okay, that is all taped up. We're going to get this on here very carefully. Okay. Now I've got foam strips from scrapbook.com. These are also black. These are also 1 millimeter. I'm going to take a couple of strips at once here and use them for my sentiment. It's so convenient to have the black and not have to worry about anything showing. Perfect. And now our crow. All right, there's all of that foam tape on there, and we're going to put him right here. Ish. Whoops. There we go. That, my friends, is our Fandom Friday card for November 2025, inspired by the crow. That's it for me today. I hope that you'll check out the hop on Instagram. If you've got questions about what I did today or why I'm obsessed with this movie, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be back real soon with another video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Oh, look at that shimmer. That's so good. I'm so glad I did that. I'm really happy with this. Okay, I'll be back real soon with another video. Be well, stay safe. Peace out.